What if Iron Man was never meant to save the world, but to rule it? What if every sacrifice, every suit, every loss was training for tyranny? Avengers Doomsday doesn't erase Tony Stark, it completes him, revealing a destiny hidden in armor, grief, genius, and the terrible cost of protection itself. From the moment Tony Stark built his first suit in a cave, fear guided him. Fear of chaos, invasion, failure. That fear saved lives, but it also demanded control. Avengers Doomsday suggests that control was always the endgame, where protection becomes domination, and a hero's logic hardens into something far colder. Marvel Studios didn't randomly choose this direction. After the collapse of the Kang storyline, the studio didn't just replace a villain, they replaced a philosophy. Kang represented time. Doom represents will. Doom doesn't wait for fate. He bends reality until it obeys, echoing Tony Stark's belief that only he could prepare Earth. The most shocking reveal is the return of Robert Downey Jr., not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom. That casting isn't nostalgia, it's narrative. It weaponizes audience trust, forcing us to confront how easily admiration can turn into obedience when genius wears a familiar face. At San Diego Comic-Con, the words "new mask, same task" weren't marketing fluff. They were a confession. Tony always believed the world needed saving from itself. Doom believes the same thing, except he removes consent from the equation, proving how thin the line is between savior and sovereign. The Russo brothers, Joe Russo and Anthony Russo, returned only after hearing a story powerful enough to justify this transformation. Alongside Stephen McFeely and Kevin Feige, they reframed Doom not as a replacement villain, but as Tony Stark's shadow made flesh. One leading theory, Demon in an Armor, comes straight from Marvel Comics. In that story, Doom and Tony swap bodies, souls divided by ambition. Doom, wearing Stark's face, destroys the Stark legacy from within, proving identity is not skin deep but shaped by choices and unchecked desire. Imagine the horror of Avengers facing a man who looks like their fallen friend, speaks with his confidence, but rules with cruelty. Doom doesn't need to conquer with force. He conquers emotionally, using memory as a weapon, forcing heroes to hesitate, doubt, and fracture under the weight of grief. Another theory connects to multiversal mechanics introduced in Deadpool and Wolverine. Tony Stark may have been Earth 616E's anchor being, the stabilizing force of reality. With Tony dead, Doom could assume his visage to stabilize collapsing timelines, masquerading as salvation while secretly crowning himself ruler of survival. This makes Doom terrifyingly logical. If the multiverse is dying, democracy is inefficient. Debate wastes time. Doom offers certainty, order, survival at any cost. It's the same argument Tony used after New York, after Ultron, after Thanos, only now stripped of guilt and moral restraint. There's also the adoption theory, darker and more intimate. What if the child raised as Tony Stark was actually Victor Von Doom, a Latvian orphan adopted by Howard and Maria Stark? In this timeline, love softened him. In others, abandonment sharpened him into a tyrant obsessed with control. That twist would mean RDJ was always playing Doom, just a version nurtured by privilege and affection. Strip that away, and the same intellect, ego, and trauma forge a dictator. Nature versus nurture collapses, revealing how fragile heroism truly is when built on power. Some fans argue Marvel may treat this as simple multiversal coincidence, like Chris Evans playing two roles. But Avengers Doomsday doesn't feel that shallow. This story wants discomfort. It wants the audience to question whether Iron Man's legacy was protection or preparation. The Fantastic Four connection deepens everything. Doom is rumored to originate from Earth 828, the same retro-futuristic universe as the Fantastic Four: First Steps. This Doom isn't born from chaos, but from order, science, and a world that trusted him once. A leaked mid-credits scene describes Doom approaching Franklin Richards, a child capable of rewriting reality. Doom doesn't seek destruction, he seeks authorship. If reality is broken, he'll edit it. If his face is scarred, he'll remake existence itself to heal the wound. That path leads inevitably to Battleworld, the ultimate expression of Doom's philosophy. In comics, Doom saves fragments of dying universes, stitching them into a single planet under his rule. Survival is mandatory. Freedom is optional. Mercy is irrelevant. This sets the stage for Avengers Secret Wars, where Doom becomes God Emperor, not out of vanity, but conviction. He truly believes the multiverse only survives if someone strong enough dares to rule it without hesitation. The confirmed return of Chris Evans as Steve Rogers' Captain America is essential. Steve represents moral clarity. Doom represents moral efficiency. Their clash isn't physical, it's ideological, a war between conscience and control. Critics call this casting desperation, but desperation implies panic. This feels calculated. Marvel is betting that audiences are ready to confront uncomfortable truths about power, authority, and the heroes we trust to wield them. The controversy over Doom's Romani heritage is valid and painful. Doom's identity matters. The hope is that Marvel acknowledges this legacy meaningfully, rather than erasing it for convenience. Representation isn't decoration, it's foundation. RDJ's recent performances prove he can disappear into darkness. This Doom must not quip. He must not charm. He must terrify with calm certainty, making viewers realize how easily genius justifies cruelty when convinced it knows better. Avengers Doomsday isn't about Tony Stark returning. It's about Tony Stark being reinterpreted, his flaws magnified, his fears weaponized, his logic stripped of empathy. Doom is Iron Man without restraint, without apology, without limits. In Iron Man 1, Tony says he privatized world peace. Doom believes peace can only exist when choice is removed. That's the final evolution of Stark's thinking, taken to its most horrifying conclusion. Every Avengers loss feeds Doom's argument. New York, Sokovia, blip, incursions. Each failure proves heroes react instead of rule. Doom doesn't react. He plans, conquers, and decides who deserves tomorrow. This is why Doom exploiting Tony's face matters. It's psychological warfare. Heroes hesitate. The public believes. Resistance fractures. Doom doesn't need an army when memory does the conquering for him. Avengers Doomsday asks a brutal question: was Tony Stark a warning, not a symbol? Was Iron Man the prototype for benevolent dictatorship, accidentally showing the universe how easily protection becomes oppression? The answer won't be comforting. Doom will be right about many things. That's what makes him dangerous. When villains speak truth, heroes must confront their own hypocrisy. As the multiverse collapses, Doom will offer salvation with strings attached. Kneel, survive. Resist, vanish. In that moment, every Avenger must decide what matters more: life without freedom or extinction with integrity. This story isn't about nostalgia. It's about legacy. What do our heroes leave behind when they're gone? Hope or instructions for tyranny disguised as safety? Avengers Doomsday could redefine the MCU, not by bigger battles, but by deeper consequences. By admitting that power always tempts control, even in the hands of those who swear to protect. If Tony Stark was always meant to be Doom, then Iron Man was never the end of the story. He was the prologue to something far more frightening. And if this theory excites you, terrifies you, or makes you rethink everything you believed about the MCU, make sure to like, subscribe, and join this channel for more deep Marvel theories, because the end of the multiverse is just the beginning here.